I want you guys to know that the Illuminati and Masons are the same thing. The reason why they're similar, I'm going to break it down. Yes, I'm going to break it down. The Masons is what I like to call the sophisticated, boule, professional Illuminatians who seek or who think they have the enlightenment and forbidden. Remember, it's the same thing. It's all about knowledge and the apple and the forbidden fruit of knowledge and things they're not supposed to touch and be messing with. The Illuminati does it on a higher level. Now the Illuminati is bigger than just because the Masons, when you look at the Masons, you got the white people Masons, the black people Masons, whatever other race that probably consider themselves Mason. You mainly hear black and white people becoming the Masons. But when it comes to the Illuminati, they're both similar. The Masons are a sophisticated small community group. Is what they're just a small group of community people who are Illuminatians. The Illuminati is worldwide, it's big. White people are in it, black people are in it, Indians are in it. However, your roots and where you come from still does matter. That's why on the other side of Masons, if you're black, you're gonna join the Black Lodge. If you're white, you're gonna join Scottish Rite or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing. Witches, warlocks, they join the Illuminati. These people join willingly. They sell their souls. People who are in the community, they're not waking up to truth or have understanding because the lack of knowledge people perish of. They walk to it blindly. That's why they have those rituals they do, symbolizing one pants leg up, the eyes, covered, because you just, like I said before, you walk blindly. So whatever you go through, got to go through the dark first and trauma to come into the light, or you're going to be your most hellish, powerful, and darkness self. Now, I'm going to show you how this all ties into something darker and more sinister than ever. So, people who are in high places in the Illuminati for real, I'm talking about the big dogs. We're going to get back to the Masons in a minute. These white people, okay, so the white people are the vampires. They are satanic. That is who they are. That's their roots. That is what they represent. You see the stuff when you go into the jail. The type of tattoos people have on them. You see what black people have on them. They have money, girls, women, Jesus, praying hands. Same thing as Mexicans. They might have Mother Maria or the little Saint Mary, Catholic thing, or tribal Indian, Aztec, Mayan, things on them. And the white people have 666 and swastikas and devil tattoos and demon tattoos, right? Okay, so let's identify these things and look closely and pay attention. Just hear me out. There are people who are in the Illuminati, and they're not just in the entertainment businesses. They're in high places. They're in politics. They have power. These people are they have their hands and their foot in high places in countries and in kingdoms. And yeah, some of them are family and do trace back to I mean, if we want to go deep, some of these people are a part of a bloodline that's probably not human. Some of these people are vampires or are human. They just are of a certain bloodline or whatever. But for the most part, these people are satanic. Now, there are, and it's not just white people who are satanic. You got some black people, you got some Indian people, you got some Mexican people, and these people are in cahoots. They are a part of the Illuminati satanic cult. That's why I know what the Illuminati is. It really is a satanic cult full of all races and ethnic groups of people that are in it. powerful, high-ranking witches, warlocks, high priestess. They know the truth. They've chosen a side, and they do things to people, manipulate, and things, and put out dark energy, and how they try to control the world with, not having to be everywhere at once because they can't, and they do it through dark energy. Hollywood, the holly tree. We all know the origin and what that is. Holly, the tree, the wand. Y'all, go look that up on YouTube. You should find it. But it goes deep. It's the energy. That's why you got to stay prayed up and in the light. You got to make a choice and decision because you got to know how deep this stuff goes. And this is why when you make oaths and you make covenants and you get into that, it's not easy to get out of. Now, on the Mason side, same thing. People who are in the Masons. Now since I did all that and combining, because when it comes to Illuminati, anybody can be in it, right? You got black people who are a part of it, but they're not from it. Okay, so with the Masons, when it comes to the black people, now, some black people know who they are, okay? Now, this is one of the mysteries. This is one of the secrets, which is really not a secret. So, some black people are African, Hebrews, okay? And some of these people have joined the Masonry. So anybody can, corrupt their bloodline. Anybody can join this stuff. People who are in the Bible who are, the Jews, they messed with a lot of gods and things they weren't supposed to mess with, which is why they got in trouble by the Lord. Here's the thing about Masons. Some Masons trace themselves, black Masons. I'm going to talk about the black ones. Some of them trace themselves back. Now, your roots do matter. There are people who are involved in Masonry that practice witchcraft. The type of witchcraft is voodoo, hoodoo, Lovecraft, all that stuff. African spiritualism, or they may have been someone who goes to church. Those are the black religions. You don't really hear a lot of black people coming from satanic stuff, but you probably do because, I really do believe that you have some. I mean, I don't want to say they're rare, but you do have some Africans and some black people that do practice them. A lot of black people, you hear about their spiritual choosing and picks beliefs on the dark side would be voodoo, but you do have some black people that do practice Satanism, and and they mix it with voodoo. It's the same thing. They know what that is. They know the truth. These people, or some of these black people are regular. Black people, they're just a regular person. They work a job. They don't, not a part of them. But these people become Masons. Okay? They become Masons. And when they do, they are struck. They have taken an oath and a covenant, and they've struck their generational bloodline with a curse that will pass down to their children, and things are not going to go good for them. Now, that's the spiritual sense. Now, in the natural sense, will things go good for them? Well, the reason why they join it is because of the fellowship and, I don't know, the credentials or the, these people who join Freemason and these Kappa, Alpha, Omega things in college and these sororities and frat clubs or whatever, these people get good jobs. These people get, they get good jobs. They do. They're not just, these people got money. These people got good houses, cars, and there's a reason for that. There's also a price too. We're gonna get to that, but there's a reason for that. And if you look and understand at the root of Freemasonry, when it comes to black people have been practicing this. They started around the time of slavery because they wanted to be as equal, as close as white people. So Masons, they work together. They believe it or not, they work together. The secrets are not really secrets. They work together. The white and the black Masons, they work together. And that's where, when you get deep into it, it's the Illuminati. And I told you, everybody of every race and culture and color is in there. So they work together, believe it or not. But when it comes to the black people, they want to be like the white people. But they took on what white people did, and they don't, the root of what some of their evil selves come from. You know what I'm saying? Their bloodline and who they are, vampires, satanic, and their bloodline. And then they did it through Masonry and how they came over to America and, try to run and flee and incorporate some of that, what we think is a secret. It's not so much a secret. So black people wanted that. I don't know why. That's why I don't really get into black history too much. I never really was just intrigued by it. I didn't really care because I'm glad that eventually over time slavery stopped. I feel like that was only about the grace of God. But some of these movements and things that I see that black people used to do, I think to myself, why did they do this? Was these people involved with masonry? Is that why? Because where are we today? But like I said, some things just going to have to take the hand of God, not trying to incorporate things that is not of Him, like joining these secret society cults, because that's what they are. So the similarities, those are the similarities when you're selling your soul. I mean, people can make oaths and covenants and agreements on. So when you do masonry, that's that's a covenant, that's an agreement. You can't speak. It's the same thing when people sell their soul. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. The similarities is that one is bigger, greater, and grander. What fame? Like you're on top of the world. You're up top of the pyramid, and the ones that are in the middle and the bottom. It's just the same. It's the same thing. It is literally the same thing. And there is a price to pay for that. It is the same thing. Another similarity that these Masons have is that they are involved in witchcraft. They do have secrets and things. When they get really deep into it, is they can't really speak. They're being watched. They do practice gang stalking, and they do sacrifice their family members by doing rituals, or even doing some things in the sense of doing it naturally. Like I do believe that there's ways that people who are involved in masonry, and this is a proven fact. What's that What's that boy's name? Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin's dad was a Freemason. So this is why I say Masons work together. Now, who shot Trayvon Martin? Was it a black man or another race of man? This is what people do in Freemasonry. That's why it's not safe to have them in your family or be around them or be associated with them, because they really are a part of a cult, whether they believe it or not. This is what they do, and this stuff goes back to the Egyptian stuff. The Egyptians were evil people. You don't think that they practiced this stuff? The Egyptians was all about sacrificing. They didn't care if it was their son or their daughter, their cat. This is what they did. This was like nothing but this was like a daily ritual to them. It was like drinking water. It empowers them. So sacrificing was normal. Killing slaves and killing people and doing rituals was like eating and drinking water every day to them. That was like that was just like a spiritual practice thing for them. It was normal. So they were evil. So these are the same mystical practices. That's why the symbols, you see it, the compass, all seeing eye, the triangle. That's why I say this. That's the modern, sophisticated community mini foot soldiers Illuminati group is what I like to call the Masons. That's what they are. But it's bigger. You hear about the Illuminati in the industry and how its families and it's throughout the whole world. That's what the Illuminati is. It's forbidden knowledge that if you take a bite of it, you get into it. Listen, some of this stuff, man, I'm telling you, there's no point where you can't come back from this. You cannot come back from this stuff. I'm telling you guys. So these Masons, they work together. They work together. And it's the same thing with the Illuminati. What do? They sacrifice people, loved ones. Why you think when you see these people in their music videos or in their movies, you see the checkerboard floor when the families and the Kardashians, they're taking pictures, they're in black and white, checkerboard floors, throwing up the evil devil horns, all seeing eye, throwing up the six. Yes. Now, why would they be throwing up the 666? Why are they throwing up evil horns? Why are they putting the Masonic checkerboard? Think about it. Think about it. I'm explaining this to you guys now. So if your grandmother or your grandfather or great-great-grandmother, they ain't here no more, was a Mason back in 1902 or 1920 or however I don't know if whether they're still here today or they're gone, because it was super old. This is what they were a part of. They saw some things, and they were here since the evolution of time of changes, and you know, they saw stuff, and they know people, and they know people that know people, and they, you know, or they know some things. They know some things. It's the only thing that's changed is the time, and things have advanced, and technology, and they're using that for evil. They're going to use those things for evil in the future. See, they've been here when this stuff wasn't advanced. It was not yet advanced. So whatever evil magic magicianry they did back then, it still worked just as it is now. It's the same thing. It's just evil is becoming more amplified in a much bigger and stronger way. Because look what these people have using the knowledge that they've gotten from fallen beings, and look what they're doing, using it for evil, to harm people, spy on people, gang stalk people, hurt them with energy weapons, and gang stalking them, cult groups, and it's the same thing. I said this in the videos that in my other videos, it's the same thing. Witchcraft, it's the same thing. It is literally witchcraft. Naturally and spiritually, that they do, it's similar. Because what happens spiritually will have its outcome naturally. You will see. I'm telling you guys, it's another world out there. It's worse for the people that are in the industry and people who grow up in this stuff. People who were raised in this stuff and was brought up in this. People who some of those artists, your favorite artists, or people that you follow on social media that are in the industry that are real big and famous. No wonder why they do drugs every day, or they gotta go to rehab, or they coked out, or what people like to say on the MK Ultra or all that. These people were birthed into that. So I do believe that these people who were born, I feel like they, in my opinion, I feel like they give them a reward of some sort of this world, but it's not going to cure the depression and the fear and the mental messed up that they have from what they are a part of and what they know and what they've been through. You understand? So that's why you see these people walking around like zombies, and you're wondering, well, what's wrong with Justin Bieber, or what's wrong with these people in Hollywood? Why they just all seem to go crazy? Because they've been through some things, and you think they don't use that stuff on them, those rituals, the gang stalking, they disguise that in the fame world, the paparazzi harassing the people following them, but do you see how these people look when they walk outside the door? Why, when they become famous, they start looking homeless? When they first became famous, they were wearing the most expensive clothes. Now, when you see them walking down the street, they want to look as regular as possible and wear the most baggiest pants and just look as homeless and normal as possible. Why is that? Or they shave their eyebrows or do something crazy. Why? Because they sold their soul. When you make an agreement, you're giving them the right to do you're giving them that right to do whatever it is they want to do to you. They can do, because you agreed. You agreed. Your free will, your mental state, all that takes effect on you spiritually. You don't think that's going to take effect on you spiritually? You're going to be feeling all types of stuff, possibly seeing them. You made an agreement. So just imagine if you make an agreement to Freemasonry and joining that. And I'm hearing testimonies like crazy right now, people who said they've joined Freemasonry and they hear voices. They know they're not good voices. They saying something, but the voices, all types of these people, this stuff is spiritual. And the testimonies I'm hearing from people who said they was into Freemasonry is not good. What they went through spiritually, and what they've seen and heard, and voices in their heads, and this is not good. The only way they can stop those voices and break out of those things that are tormenting their spirit, their soul, is praying or calling on Jesus if they could. So this stuff is nothing to play with, guys. It's dangerous. Don't put your family into this. Don't make an oath, a covenant. That stuff is gonna, it's gonna carry on. It's best for you to just live like how God intended things and how it's supposed to be, and go out and work and just, lay low and just, just without joining. We got to get knowledge. We got to get knowledge of this stuff and understanding, and so that we won't. Because some of these people, they didn't think, they wasn't trying to join anything evil. They just wanted to take care of their families, and they enjoyed the fellowship, and they just wanted to be a part of a sisterhood, a brotherhood. They didn't know. So that's what I'm saying. Knowledge, not having the knowledge, it hurts us. The lack of knowledge, we do perish. We make bad mistakes and choices, and someone should say something and talk about it if they know. And that's what I'm saying. Wake up, smell the roses, come to the light, and see. Hear it, at least hear it. You ain't gotta listen to me, but I'm just saying. It's happening. Stay prayed up and safe.